Welcome to your Daily Writing Habit, episode number 398. Wow. If you are writing a book or thinking about it or trying to finish your book or trying to let people know about your awesome book, you are in the right place. Good morning and happy Writer Wednesday. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh, also known as Christine Inc., christine-inc.com. Each day I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 18 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and they can turn someone who doesn't see themselves as a writer into a published book author. They are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. Here's today's quote. Oh, sorry about that. Technical difficulties here. Here's today's quote. We don't get harmony when everybody sings the same note. Only notes that are different can harmonize. The same is true with people. Steve Goodyear. And once again, good morning and happy Writer Wednesday, and continuing my Writer Wednesday series here, where every week I'm giving you some of the highlights of my process for developing and writing books. And the best news is I'm doing it in the most actionable way possible. So every week I reveal one piece of my book writing or book development process, and I do it through three sort of, like action questions or activities or something that you can use in the writing of your book right away. Today's topic is writing conflict. So writing conflict scenes. And obviously this mainly means in fiction books, but certainly doesn't rule out nonfiction either, especially if, say, in your memoir, maybe you're recounting some sort of conflict scene from your life that revealed some sort of lesson or something about yourself or, anything like that in your memoir. And let's say for creative purposes, you maybe want to punch the scene up to make your point, which of course you're entitled to do as the author. So maybe you'll want to write it as like a full out conflict scene with somebody else from your life. So here are your 3 tips to create clearer and also more intense conflict scenes, because the better the scenes are, the better you will make your point. Number 1. Make each character, so for nonfiction, it would be a real life person, but make each character in the scene want something and want it to the nth degree. So something that theoretically, for the context of your book, something that each person will fight to the death for. And again, whatever quote unquote death is in the context of your book. So something that applies to your book. But I hope you see what I mean. Take the thing that each person wants, have it conflict with each other, and have it just be at the nth degree, the highest level of wanting, and something they'll fight for. Number 2, to really understand what's at the heart of your conflict scenes, I like to write it like 2 kids would be playing in a sandbox, and maybe like 2 like super little kids, and they're fighting. So what would they say? So how, think of like how kids fight with each other and just the very basic language, and it's very emotions based. It's just very raw. It's very from the heart and the gut. And this is a great exercise because it brings your scene down to the simplest terms. It will help you understand what's at the heart of your conflict scene just at the simplest level. Then you can, rise it up and write it like a grown-up and write it in the context of your book. But if you write it like 2 kids fighting in a sandbox, you'll really understand what that conflict is about. And number 3, finally, remember the element of surprise when writing conflict scenes. Remember, like in real life, nobody is ever expecting a conflict. The other person's like not sitting there waiting to fight with you. The better you can set up the scene to allow the characters to be truly surprised at this like sudden emotional coming out of nowhere car crash, the better. For instance, make at least one of them really busy or otherwise distracted, and the other one has to get their attention in order to start what turns out to be the conflict. And the other person, maybe they don't know they're starting a conflict. Here's just an example. Maybe the other person, they just think they're going to, give some feedback or, give some honest opinion to their friend, and their friend's going to be like, oh my God, thank you so much. I'm really so glad that you just gave me that life feedback. But you know what? In some cases that might happen, but in most cases the friend's going to be like, blank you, especially if they're really busy doing something. So I hope you see what I mean by that, where, set up a surprise. So one person is maybe having a bad day and they're really busy and doing something. The other person's interrupting them to try to, just give this piece of information to them, and it just totally blows up. So both people doing other things, both people being surprised by the conflict. Don't make it easy or planned. Remember, conflicts are one of life's major surprises. And that wraps up this week's Writer Wednesday episode, and thank you for joining me here on your daily writing habit, where I am helping you write and finish writing an awesome book. And I would love to see you in my Inc. Authors group on Facebook, and let us know what your book writing or any kind of writing challenges you have and how we can support you, Inc. Authors on Facebook. Until tomorrow, happy writing.